Morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Trevor. Do we have Lee Tucker?
I know she's here.
Okay. How about Nan Baker?
Karen, she'll be here in 1 second. She was finishing up some comments in the Community Development Committee, so she should
Okay.
be on any second.
All right. Thank you, Trevor.
Nan Baker calling in.
Good morning, Nan.
Good morning, so I'm not late. Good.
Pick Mike whenever you're ready. I think we have everybody on.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Today's June 14th. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Good morning. Calling the roll for the Monday, June 14th meeting. It is 11:03. Dale Miller,
Here.
Nan Baker,
Here.
Trevor McAleer serving as an alternate for Purnell Jones,
Here.
Mike Chambers serving as an alternate for Ermin Budish,
Here.
Lee Tucker serving as an alternate for the fiscal officer,
Here.
Nicole English serving as an alternate for Mike Dever,
Here.
Catherine Tkachuk.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Great. Next on the agenda is the review of the minutes from June 7th. I'm going to make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Miller.
Had a bunch of people there. I think it was Councilman Miller, seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved. Next on the agenda is public comment. If anyone from the public wishes to speak, you may do so now on any of the items. Okay, there is no public comment. Moving on to contracts and awards.
First item, BC 2021-282, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with MS Consultants Incorporated for engineering, inspection, and evaluation services in connection with the rehabilitation of the West 130th Street Bridge number 02.26 over the East Branch of the Rocky River in the cities of North Royalton and Strongsville for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $412,027.
Nicole English with Public Works. This is a Part 2 contract of design services for the West 130th Bridge. So as typical for many of our bridge projects, when we select the consultant, we know that it's going to be a Part 1, Part 2. Part 1 is the planning and the investigation to figure out what you need to do to the bridge. Then Part 2 is finalizing the design. So this is just the finish of the design for the bridge project. They were initially selected through an RFQ that was done in November of 2019. They are meeting their 30% diversity goals that were set at the time of contract award. The construction of the project won't happen until 2023, so we're still ways away, and you would see this contract award later on the construction side.
Thank you, Ms.
And
English.
it's
Are there any
100% road
questions
and
from the-
bridge.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Are there any questions from the board on this item?
Just one, if I may,
Sure.
just for clarification. So this is all about for engineering, inspection, and evaluation services. So this is not anything to do with construction. What was the original phase 1 for the same phase 1 engineering and inspection process? How much do we have in the total architect fee, I guess?
So Part 1 was 311,413.
Okay,
And then this next phase this part is 412,027. So the construction estimate is 3.8 million. So the fee is in line with what we would typically look at percentage costs of construction. So, but you are right. Yes, this is not anything to do with the construction. It's just the design.
okay. And if I may, phase 1 is the same consultant as phase 2?
Yeah, so when they're selected, they are selected to design the entire project. It's just when they start, we don't know if you're going to replace the bridge, if you're going to rehab the bridge. So at that time, we don't have them develop their scope for the whole project. We only have them develop the scope to get us to the point where we know what we're going to do with the bridge. Then we have them scope Part 2, where they can get detailed on exactly how much it's going to cost and how many hours to do whatever it is they've come up with in Part 1. So it's kind of typical on our bridge projects because it's hard for them to estimate their costs up front.
All right, well, that was, I didn't realize, so 722,000 is what it costs to determine what we're going to do in a $3.8 million construction. That's what you're saying.
Well, the 723 will get us a full design.
Full
The
design.
300 was for the first phase to figure out what to do. The 700 will get us a full set of plans that we'll bid. So that will be all of the design cost.
Okay, good to know. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, are there additional questions on this item? Hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, Miller.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2021-283, Department of Development, submitting an RFP exemption on requisition 6471, which will result in a payment to Greater Cleveland Media Development Corporation, doing business as Greater Cleveland Film Commission, in the amount not to exceed $210,000 for operational support for the period June 14th, 2021 through December 31st, 2021, and recommending the payment in connection with said RFP exemption.
Yeah, this is Kassan with Development. This is just our annual support payment that we give to the Greater Cleveland Film Commission just to help them in all the services that they provide us. It's for $210,000. It's last year we reduced it due to the COVID budget cuts and all that, but we've been meeting with the folks there and discussing their needs and all that, and we decided to return it back to the $210,000. We have answered the advanced questions. We've sent an email. I hope you guys received it. And we also have the folks here from Cleveland Film Commission to answer any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions from the board on this item?
I have one if you don't mind.
Please, yes.
So I did receive the additional backup information. So, just in a nutshell, for a 210,000 investment, what is the return? Can you give me a bottom line?
I don't have that, but maybe somebody at the Film Commission can help us out with this.
Yes, this is Seema Jaswal. I'm the COO of the Film Commission. Hi, everyone. We have currently have a production that we've attracted via the tax credit that is here. They started pre-production here in March, and they're going to be here through October. They will be employing over 1,800 full-time local Ohioans or for full-time equivalent jobs. And they've currently rented space in Severance Center for their production offices, over 250,000 square feet. And they're building a set in the Walmart. Half of the locations for their film are going to be in Cuyahoga County. And I think a lot of the cast and the crew are staying in Cuyahoga County on the east side. So that's just data from the one production that's here. But we anticipate for the rest of the year, there are 10 productions that have submitted for the motion picture tax credit with budgets totaling over 40 million. Or they actually requested 40 million in tax credits, and budgets are total over 140 million. So we will know who is approved for those productions by the end of the month. And we have also started working with the Baldwin Wallace consultants hired by the county to actually drill down the data into what the actual economic impact was for specifically Cuyahoga County.
Okay, I guess that last sentence was the one I was asking for.
Sorry.
But that's okay. I'm certainly in support of the Cleveland Film and all the festival and all that it brings. And I know that the economic impact is something that we certainly want to see continue. If someone asked me for the 210,000 that we're investing, what is the return on investment? Be nice to give them a number. That's all. So, but it sounds like Baldwin Wallace is going to be working on that. When do you think you would have that report finished?
I think within the next few months. We're shooting for the end of September, but hopefully, sooner than that. They've got a really good idea, and we're going to be working very closely together on. I'm going to try and get audits from the productions, and that way we can actually drill down in each sector what was spent in Cuyahoga County, and so we'll have a great idea. And we hope to continue this relationship so that we'll always have measurables to present to you.
Right. Then not only for us, which is a minor player here, but for the tax credits from the state.
Absolutely.
In order to show the return on investment can only help.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, Chair.
Sure. Are there additional questions from the board? Okay, hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Nan Baker.
Seconded by Councilwoman Baker. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item, please.
Next item, DC 2021-284, Office of the Medical Examiner, submitting an amendment to a contract with Justice Tracks Incorporated for maintenance and support on the Laboratory Information Management System Plus for the period October 15th, 2018 through October 14th, 2021, to expand the scope of services to include the purchase of 20 Justice Tracks licenses, training, and maintenance for the Justice Tracks system, effective May 30th, 2021, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $79,391.67.
Chief Shannon from the Medical Examiner's Office. Justice Tracks is our primary evidence and forensic testing tracking system. So it allows the lab to enter and track evidence and then follow the status of testing so that the final reports, forensic reports for law enforcement and justice agencies, can be disseminated as needed. We are adding additional licenses for forensic scientists that have been brought on, as well as adding the toxicology laboratory. The Tox Lab had their own kind of in-house custom built system for many years. We lost the creator of that to retirement a few years ago. And so in the last Justice Tracks upgrade, we added the toxicology laboratory and brought that online January 1st. But now all of the scientists in the laboratory actually need the licenses. We were able to free up some grant money and a couple of grants that covered about 80% of the cost. And this is an ongoing contract that we have. So we're just interrupting in the near the end of it to add these licenses.
Thank you, Hugh. Are there questions from the board on this item? Okay, hearing none, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Item BC 2021-285, Court of Common Pleas, Juvenile Court Division, recommending awards and enter into agreements with various municipalities in the total amount not to exceed $62,400 for the Community Diversion Program for the period June 14th, 2021 through December 31st, 2021, with the municipalities and the award amounts listed as items A through J on the printed agenda.
Good morning, this is Sarah Baker with Juvenile Court. These are some more additional community diversion program agreements that we have with a number of municipalities. And this is the program that the court utilizes in partnership with the cities to divert the youth away from official court involvement.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Are there questions from the board on this item?
One question, Chair, if I may, Nan Baker.
Please. Mhm.
So A through J, is that the total list or is this a continuing list of our cities participating?
I'm sorry, this is a continuing list. We had 2 prior ones that were approved. This is another batch. We will have some further ones coming, I believe maybe next week on Monday, and then we have a few more stragglers after that.
Do you have a count of how many we participate with, how many cities?
Roughly between, I would say maybe between 40 and 45.
And if I may, in your backup answer, we're only reaching out to those that have been previously involved in the CDP. Is there any way that we could reach out to other cities that may have an interest but just don't know about it?
So we've always kind of had a working relationship with all of the cities in Cuyahoga County. So we will reach out to each of the cities that have had a contract with us in the past. Some have had it years ago and maybe they don't now, or maybe some are running their own programs now, and we'll still try to have conversations with them or try to kind of bring them back in with our grouping. So conversations are kind of constantly taking place throughout the year. And we're trying to make sure that, you know, we welcome people whenever they want to join in, even if it's mid-year. So we kind of are always keeping those conversations open throughout the year so that we can welcome folks back in if they ever want to join back in.
If I may, Chair,
Please.
what are you concerned at all about cities that never have participated, may not know about it, and would if it was brought to their attention? Is there any concern there?
I am not 100%, but I believe all of the cities in Cuyahoga County, because those are the only cities that we're contracting with, are aware of the program. And there are a few that don't participate in some of those examples. It's cities that maybe only have maybe 1 or 2 kids that are in need of this program. In some other circumstances, there are cities that maybe run their own program, so it's not something that they're interested to contract with Cuyahoga County for $1,000 for a year. So it just kind of depends on what the circumstances are. But like I said, we're always kind of communicating with folks to see if we can get them to come back or, if we can accomplish some other sort of partnership.
Okay, I guess I'm just wondering how we reach out to those that just don't know about it, or if they did, they might consider not doing it in their community and joining Cuyahoga County, and that information may not be available to them. I just wonder if there was a one-time, all of you cities were offering this service. Do you have an interest? Anything like that go out or no?
We usually will send something out toward, like, for example, we'll start talking about this program for next year here in the summertime. So probably in early fall, we'll send out a letter to all of the cities within the county and say, hey,
Okay.
we're talking about getting this program up and running for 2022, and just kind of do like an introductory type of letter. So something like that will usually always go out.
All right, thank you. And that's what I was asking. Just one final question. I see the amounts are varied from 200 to 1,000 to 12 and 13,000. Do they ask for the amount, or is it done by a percentage, or how many people they have involved? How do you determine the money?
So this is done based on a percentage of youth served in the prior years. So we'll look at the overall percentage of kids that are in the program and then base it upon the number of youth served in those specific communities.
So the 13,000 for East Cleveland, that's based on last year's participation?
Because the year of 2020 was a bit odd,
Right.
for multiple reasons, we've for this particular grouping, we've looked at 19 and 20, just because we wanted to make sure we had a lot more accurate numbers. So we didn't want to take the year of COVID just into account. But essentially, yes, we're looking at, the amount of kids that East Cleveland has specifically served in view of the entire population that has been in this program.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for those answers. Very interesting. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Good questions. Any additional questions from the board on this item? Okay, hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second Ann Baker.
Seconded by Councilwoman Baker. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Item approved. Okay, moving on. Consent agenda. Other business?
Moving on to consent agenda item number BC 2021-286.
Okay. Board members, take a moment. And if you have any questions on any of these items.
If I may, just one question on 286. The question was about rescue dollars being used for job training. And I understand the answer where it says the Skill Up program was in place before, but is there any evidence to show that the participation increased because of perhaps additional job loss, and that the Skill Up program cost us more than what we would have anticipated due to the pandemic and loss of jobs in Skill Up training?
Good morning, Councilwoman Baker. This is Dan Basta, Health and Human Services, on behalf of the Department of Development and the Skill Up program. The program is actually just kind of ramping up a little more. We do most of the purchasing, or basically all the POs that deal with Skill Up, and they have just started kind of getting back into the flow. So to answer your question, no, there has not been a increase to say for the job training. It's been more kind of steady during the pandemic, and now that we're kind of coming out of the pandemic, it's bumping up a little bit, but not to the point where I think we could say that it's based strictly on the pandemic results.
If I may, Chair, as the unemployment runs out and as people perhaps get more concerned about what their skills are and what type of job they can acquire, there could be a bump in this, and just to keep in mind, maybe this federal dollars can be used because of that. Just a thought.
And I definitely, you will be aware of all the different purchase orders for these, so they'll be ongoing. So
Okay.
we can revisit it, definitely.
Thank you for your answer. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Any additional questions from the board on this particular item? Okay. Hearing no further questions, I'm going to make a motion to approve today's consent agenda item. Do I have a second?
Second, Miller.
Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Today's consent agenda is approved. Moving on to other business.
We have one-time sensitive mission critical item, BC 2021-287, Department of Public Works recommending an award on a purchase order to National Trench Safety in the amount not to exceed $23,338.19 for 2 shoring boxes and related materials for sanitary division.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is a request of approval mission critical. This is for shoring boxes for our sanitary crews. If you're not familiar with shoring boxes, those are the large, you see them often on in construction sites, excavation settings, sanitary crews. They're usually 6 or 8 feet tall. They're large metal boxes that prevent trench or hole collapses. We had to have 2 that are still in the repair shops getting repaired, and we're down an entire set of 6x6 and an 8x8 size. So we authorized the mission critical, so work would not stop in the field, and this is the result of it.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Okay, hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve this item. Do I have a second?
Second, Miller.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on in our agenda. Public comment. Here we go. At this time, we're at public comment. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak at this time? You may do so.
Chair, if I may ask during this
Yes.
period,
Yeah.
Nan Baker,
Sure.
there was a question raised about why the agenda is so light. And the answer came back that there was really no answer for that. Will we be seeing late contracts coming through because the difficulty to get through the system, or have we overcome that now? And and these light agendas are not a factor of that.
No, first off, unfortunately, you will continue to see some late items. I know we talked last week, the juvenile court, I believe, has 7 or 8 more coming through. But I would hope that that's the end of it. I mean, we did allow some time for some learning curves, some new staff, unfortunately people leave. This, to my knowledge, this is just, what was in the queue. So I know Catherine, who's taken over downstairs, is looking at the queue on a regular basis. And I believe this is everything that was ready by the cutoff date that we had. And unfortunately, we do have a cutoff date so that we can do what we have to do to get them to you guys. And we're pretty rigid on that. So hopefully this is just a one-off.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. I just wonder if we should anticipate an agenda that's 3 or 4 times larger coming down the pike. No, good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. At this time, no public comment. Moving on to adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second, Miller.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, everyone, we're adjourned. Thank you again. Great week.
Thank you.
Take care.